Hello there. If you're buying a trolley jack, this video is for you because we're discussing the key factors that need to be considered. Welcome to CarSpyTV. Right, a trolley jack has a maximum lifting capacity. For example, 1.5 tonnes, 2 tonnes, 2.5 or 3. Ensure therefore that any jack you purchase is capable of lifting your heaviest vehicle. You can typically find out roughly what a vehicle weighs via the owner's manual, the sales brochure or the internet. Remember to also account for the weight of any cargo the vehicle might be carrying, particularly if it's a van or a pickup truck. Some such vehicles can carry an enormous amount of stuff in the back. Remember though that the jack doesn't need to be strong enough to lift the entire vehicle in one go like that. Typically, it's only going to lift one corner at a time, say to fit the spare wheel, or at most, if there's a central jacking point there, the front end. Now, I've had a look online and there's a manufacturer that suggests the lifting capacity of a jack should be around 3/4 of the vehicle's total weight. That's a useful guide, but I think it's best we each consider what we're personally comfortable with. Next, when buying a trolley jack, consider the lifting range. That's how high the trolley jack can go, in this case here, and how low, in this case, down there. For reference, the lifting range of my jack is between 85 and 380 millimeters. So consider how high you need to lift your vehicle. Also bear in mind that if you have a low sports car with very little ground clearance, then a modest lifting range on the jack will lift the bottom of the tyres a considerable distance off the ground. In contrast, if your vehicle has high ground clearance, you may need a jack with a greater lifting range to lift the bottom of the tyres the same distance. Next, when buying a trolley jack, consider the size of the saddle. This is a saddle, and it's the part of the jack that rises up to meet the jacking point of the car. Now, saddles come in different sizes, and in some scenarios, a car is more likely to be stable on a large saddle than a small one. For reference, my saddle is 62 millimeters, and that's fairly typical of a modern 2 to 2.5 ton trolley jack. Now, these things flying through the air are jack pads, and you may want to buy one or several of them. A jack pad is a piece of rubber that sits in the saddle of the jack, like so, and it has two purposes. Number one, it can protect the finish on your car's metal. And number two, it can be shaped to perfectly fit your car's jacking point. This one, for example, contains a slot, so the jacking point of my car slides right into it. Now, jack pads come in many shapes and sizes, so it is a case of pick what's suitable for your vehicle. And if your trolley jack doesn't come with something suitable, you can always buy an alternative later on. They're easily available on eBay. When buying a trolley jack, also get one that's low enough to fit under the jacking points of your vehicle. Why? Because some jacks are low profile and some are not. So, simply measure the distance between the ground and your vehicle's jacking point and make sure any jack you purchase fits in that gap. When buying a trolley jack, consider whether you want one with a single piston or a double piston. Why? Because if you have a double piston, you can raise the jack with far fewer strokes. I wish mine was double. Right, we have a few final points to consider. Some trolley jacks, like mine, are relatively small and light, so they can be easily lifted into a car or whatever. However, some are far larger and considerably heavier. I can easily find jacks online that weigh about 50 kilograms, so it's worth considering how much weightlifting do you want to do. Also bear in mind that some jacks have foam on the handle here, and that minimises any damage to the car's paint if you accidentally strike it. And also some handles can rotate to this sort of angle and then you can jack up from there, and that's useful if you're working in a confined area. Anyway, that's it, but before you go, don't forget to subscribe to CarSpyTV, that makes it easier to find my other content. Can you also please do me a favour and click like on this video, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.